Filled with stars, let's check out the way the two sides line up. And Saints have got Darren Albert playing then at full-back for the injured Wellens. Stewart, Gleeson, Newlove and Gardner comes in on the wing. Tommy Martin was named on the bench originally. He's now at standoff alongside Sean Long. What a night for Long. In the forwards, Darren Britt, Jason Hooper moves to hooker. Mickey Hyam drops to the bench. John Stankovic starts at prop. Chris Joint, new boy Darren Smith in the second row. And thankfully for St Helens, Paul Sculthorpe fit to take his place at loose forward. And the substitutes then, Barry Ward, Mick Hyam, Tim Yonkers, Mark Edmondson, and the coach is Ian Millwood. Now the men who travelled 12,000 miles to be here. Anthony Minicello at full-back, Todd Byrne, Chris Valerie, Justin Hodges, Shannon Hegarty, the three-quarters, Brad Fittler, and Craig Wing moves forward from hooker to take the scrum half berth. And the forwards, Jason Kalis, Michael Crocker comes off the bench then to hooker, Peter Cusack, Adrian Morley, he needs no introduction to British viewers, Craig Fitzgibbon and Luke Ricketson. And the substitutes for them, Brett Finch, their new boy from Canberra, Ned Katic, Todd Payton, Chad Robinson, and the coach, a great player himself of course in his days, kangaroo tourist, a real star, Ricky Stewart. A week yesterday they arrived on these shores and Brad Fittler knows that it is a night maybe to claim a world championship for Australia. Of course, the Aussies have inflicted a little bit of damage on our sporting scene in this country over the past 48 hours or so with the Socceroos' victory over England. Tonight, the chance for St Helens to restore some British pride.
You know, Eddie, victory comes at a price when you're playing in the World Club Challenge. The question the players have to ask themselves tonight is, what price am I willing to pay? This game is going to be demanding with a capital D, and you'll have to be prepared to go the extra mile if you want to lift this trophy.
And Phil, you know all about these matches. You've played in 3 of them yourself.
They're the games that you just dream about playing in, and when they retire these players, these are the games that they remember. This in particular, fantastic chance for Paul Sculthorpe to match himself against a real legend in the game, Brad Fittler. That's what Paul Sculthorpe thrives on, a challenge. We'll see the best out of him here tonight.
So the World Club Challenge, the now traditional curtain raiser to the start of the brand new Super League season. They worked their socks off all the way through 2002 to be involved in this match, and Russell Smith is the referee. He took charge of the grand final at Old Trafford last October. Don't mention voluntary tackles. Russell Smith is the man in charge here tonight, and Bradford Bulls, of course, will know what we're talking about when we say alleged voluntary tackles. But Saints won the right to be here. The Roosters, they won the right to be here with a victory in their grand final, 30 points to 18, back on October the 6th. Now the chance to claim the championship of the world. And it's going to be Michael Crocker who will get this game in motion. Fireworks have crackled overhead, the smoke is clearing, we're underway! 2003 is underway, and what a season it promises to be, and what a match this promises to be. Look at the chase from Sydney, and look at the first tackle on Darren Britt. The chase led by Kalis.
Well, we spoke about
Tommy Martin kicking early.
Maybe, I'm not so sure about that. Turning over possession now, well on the attack, first tackle there. That's a real danger. I'm sure they would have looked to got greater length on that kick.
Not a great kick from Martin. And here come the Roosters. So instead of Saints working the ball away from their own line, it's Sydney Roosters who are in control here, and this is Fitzgibbon now for them. They're 20 metres away. Tackle there by Paul Sculthorpe. Crocker again. And that was Fittler with the little offload. Good charge in by the prop forward Cusack. Solid St Helens defence. Crocker again. Fittler. Oh, not the best pass on the bounce though, and picked up by Adrian Morley. Adrian Morley will need no introduction to British fans. Good dab, and Long is after this, and he catches it in the air, Sean Long. It's a big night for Sean Long. He has got to try and re-establish himself as Great Britain's #1 scrum half. Paul Deacon of Bradford, at the moment the man who is in charge of that British jersey.
Sean Long read the kick very well, got back, but there's just been a huge tackle gone in there by Adrian Morley. He's shown early doors he means business. The Roosters finding it hard to get out of that danger zone. Traditionally, the Australian sides do start the game very quickly, Eddie, and look at the speed of the defensive line. Again, Saints kicking deep.
Good kick from Tommy Martin, but I think he was just over the 20-metre line. And it's going to be head and feet here to the Roosters.
It didn't go over the 20-metre line in the Rooster territory anyway, so...
Oh, no, you're right. There are two red lines down there, which...
There's a 40-metre and a 20-metre, obviously, in both halves.
Saints, keep your backs.
I was confused by the red lines, Phil. My apologies.
The Roosters also had a practice match, didn't they, earlier in the week against Widnes, and in that game they kicked very early in the tackle count themselves.
And there they are again with Fittler with the kick downfield to chase on here. A real chase, and it's Darren Smith who is after it, and Darren Smith does well. He managed to get that ball back for Saints under pressure from Luke Ricketson, but they were looking for the flyers out wide then.
I think the kick came more to the middle than Fittler would have liked, didn't he? He wanted Hodges and Byrne on the right wing chasing down hard on that, but again Morley working hard from the marker position. This is the tough part now for St Helens to come away from here. This is where you need your bravery.
It was such a different set of circumstances. Here's the early kick from Fittler. He was looking for Todd Byrne out wide, but it went down the middle. But a totally different set of circumstances from Monday, Phil. We were there at Widnes when they had their warm-up. Boy, it was dreadful, dreadful conditions that night. Muddy. This now is very crisp, very solid underfoot. Good kick from Tommy Martin.
Well, it is a good kick. Sean Long was maybe looking at an option, either a deeper kick or even they had the numbers with Byrne dropping back. There's a chance to exploit some space on the left. I think they'll just be relieved. The first few minutes are underway and out of the way for St Helens. The Roosters have started very, very impressively.
So here now is Fittler again. He gets away from Gleeson, but Darren Smith is there to pull him down. And now it's with Fitzgibbon once again. He makes inroads up the middle. St Helens hunting in pairs. Gleeson was there, so too was Hooper.
Wait!
Of course, both sides with one or two changes in personnel after their grand final successes of last year. And interestingly enough, the hooking role, Kieran Cunningham not here, of course, for St Helens, and Bonetti, he has retired for the Roosters, so a major change there. Good tackle from Long on Minicello.
Here's Crocodile, the hooker, taking the ball up. He's going to win a penalty here for a high tackle.
He has Stankovic. And Michael Crocker not impressed with that.
You talk how important the hooking position is. If you think back to last year's World Cup Challenge, it was the Bradford hooker James Lowes who won the man of the match. It's a key role, but I expect both of these sides will make changes in the hooking department. I expect to see Craig Wingo there and the speedy Mickey Hyam come on for St Helens as the game wears on.
Well, the high shot from John Stankovic, who is highly rated by both his club coach Ian Millwood and the Great Britain coach David Waite. It offers the opportunity to the Roosters for the first points on the board here, because Fitzgibbon will surely have a shot at goal. Won the Clive Churchill Medal as man of the match in the Australian Grand Final last year, a try and 5 goals. And this Fitzgibbon, 81 successful kicks last year. This is his first opportunity to put points on the board here at Bolton. Always important, Phil, to get the first points, just to settle the nerves.
And it's a difficult kick too, isn't it? It's that just to the left-hand side of the post, but it's where most fans expect you to put it over. Your teammates also. It was the first kick, it's a difficult one.
Fitzgibbon then for the Roosters. Good kick, right over the top of the H. And the Roosters have the lead here at the Reebok Stadium. 2-0.
Dream year last year for Craig Fitzgibbons, obviously going on then to play for Australia in the Test match against New Zealand. If you really look at the Roosters side, its back row is possibly its strongest element, with Morley, Fitzgibbons and Ricketson. The great mobility at the back, and the question that a lot of people asked in Australia was just how good were the front rowers. Well, Kalis takes it up, and I expect Cusack will follow soon after that.
Was that a little fumble by Crocker? The referee and touch judges shake their heads.
Hands off the ball!
Oh, could have been.
Maybe off his foot. Here is the goal kicker, Fitzgibbon. Disappears under the challenge from Sculthorpe. And now it's the winger Shannon Hegarty cutting in field. Darren Britt working hard, so too Stankovic, and legally this time. Bringing down Peter Cusack it was. Whoa, that was a fierce challenge by Tommy Martin.
Possibly even a late shot, but he got away with it. For the first time now, Saints with good possession. Up towards the halfway line.
Here's Aidy Gardner now.
Release 2 to me, come on.
Only got the nod, well, publicly anyway, that he was in the side an hour before the kick-off. I'm sure he knew Aidy Gardner that he was in a lot earlier than everybody else did. That was Hooper at dummy half, and here is Chris Choint. Good tackle by Adrian Morley. Hooper again, Sculthorpe attacking the line.
Good run from Paul Sculthorpe. He's picked out Craig Wing there in the defensive line. He's not too bothered if he gets through at this stage. Just take some petrol out of Wing.
Good hands! Oh, forward pass! Forward pass, says the referee. They'll bring this back. It's no try.
And it's a turnover as well in the last tackle. Great option there. We saw earlier Sean Long asking to run it on that side with Tommy Martin. They kicked a few minutes ago. Here they run the ball. Martin to Newlove.
I think it was that one there. It wasn't that one.
What a pity. Fantastic skills there from Paul Newlove. Catch and pass in one motion.
St Helens denied by the whistle of Russell Smith.
That just goes to show you, Eddie, the quality on show here today. Just the slightest chance. The player just not being in position defensively, and both of these two teams can exploit it.
So near, yet so far. The Roosters with a slender lead, courtesy of the boot of Fitzgibbon. Crocker, the dummy half, turns the ball down that left-hand channel, and that is Hodges, and he managed to keep his legs going, does Hodges. That was dangerous, and here is Crocker, and now that's Wing. Went, well, the initial push was forwards, and Ricky Stewart just biting the fingernail, not sure that he agrees with Russell Smith, but the initial fumble by Craig Wing propelled the ball in forward motion.
Well, again, having Crocker, not a regular hooker, he's more of a utility forward. The pass wasn't a good one to Wing. Missed opportunity for the Roosters.
Sculthorpe shooting out the base of the scrum, collared by Adrian Morley. Martin, good run, he finds Darren Albert. And Darren Albert, of course, playing at full-back this evening. 25 tries last year for the Saints. This is Darren Britt now. Jason Hooper waits at dummy half. Interference at the play of the ball by Fitzgibbon.
That's what St Helens need, some quick play the balls to win that ruck area. Both of these two sides are looking in the early stages to win the floor. Either end up in a good position to play the ball quickly or dominate in the tackle. They've won a penalty there, Darren Britt for his side. That's good work. Ricky Stewart looking a little frustrated.
Thanks, Dave.
The last couple of minutes didn't go the way he'd like.
John Cartwright was the man alongside Ricky Stewart. Used to play, of course, once upon a time for Salford in this part of the world. But the man who produced the first 2 points for the Roosters, Fitzgibbon, might well here be producing the opportunity for Long to get the first 2 points for Saints.
Well, we said, didn't we, you like a nice easy kick in front of the post, 20 metres out. See here Millward there just talking to Kieran Cunningham. It's not exactly what Sean Long's been given. But he kicked 9 goals last week in a fantastic performance against the UTC in the Challenge Cup down in Perpignan. 4 tries as well, so he's ready for a big game after missing the Test series against New Zealand last year.
Indeed so. And he's just, what, about 6 metres inside the Roosters' heart. Oh dear, he never got it off the ground almost.
Well, I think he probably tried to kick it a bit too hard. I'm not a kicking specialist, but that's unusual for him to miss kicks so badly.
Minicello, though, the man who collected it and ran the ball out for the Roosters.
Hands off the ball.
Well, that will do Sean Long's confidence with the boot no favours.
Very compressed St Helens defence. They realise the Roosters are going to play pretty basic, just one-out football at the moment.
Get off him, quickly.
Well, Fittler will look to exploit if they see an opening.
Hegarty gets away from Long. He can't get away from Stankovic or Jason Hooper. He's 40 metres away from his own line on the last tackle. Expect the kick here, maybe. Well, they're running it. And why wouldn't they, with men like Hodges in the side? Kick over the top. Darren Albert. Oh, that ball's bounced wickedly, but Albert, he managed to get to it.
One of the features of that practice match against Widnes was the speed and enthusiasm of the kick chase from the Roosters. You saw then, as soon as they put ball to boot, they go as hard and fast as they can to get downfield. They can't win the ball, they'll win some ground.
Rip-roaring start to the new season. This is Sculthorpe. Fittler is there, so too is Flannery. Hooper, Long, shaped to pass inside, held on, had to take the tackle. Fittler was round him, so too Flannery again. Hooper, it's on the last. Martin with the kick downfield. Collected on the fly by Minicello. Hooper missed him. Stankovic didn't.
It's a good chase from St Helens though. That will please Ian Millward and the players out there. A good line, good communication. Everyone up there for it.
The game being played at a fantastic pace when you consider this is only St Helens' second real challenge of the season and the first fully competitive match for the Roosters. Flannery gets the ball inside to Fitzgibbon again, seeing plenty of it. Saints' defence so far standing firm. 12 minutes gone. Here's Fittler, there's the kick again. Albert's after it, he's quick as well. Darren Albert collects.
He's going to have a tough night, Darren Albert, especially when he gets met with defence like that. Luke Ricketson in there. Just talking about him going into politics, it wouldn't surprise me if he ended up as the Minister for Defence.
Well,
you'll see him all over the field, yeah. You'll see him all night.
And here now is Britt again. Big collision in centre field. Britt, though, turned over on his back by 3 tacklers. Hooper, Sculthorpe, back it goes to Long. Quick hands out wide. And here goes Aidy Gardner. And he's away from Fitzgibbon. And he's got a chance here, but Minicello is solid in defence. Good run, though, from Gardner. St Helens on the charge. Sculthorpe, a dab over the top for Long to chase. Minicello reads it well.
Well, we predicted a thriller. We've certainly got that wonderful skill from St Helens.
And wonderful defence from the Roosters in the shape of Minicello.
Well, he usually plays on the wing for them, but he knows how important it is to get back for kicks. Essentially took that out of the arms of Sean Long, otherwise a certain 4 points.
Here's Morley now for the Roosters. Had a massive game and a big influence on their grand final success last year. This is Jason Kalis. Remember, we saw him on the Kiwi Tour in the club games, not in the tests against Great Britain. He played against the French. This is Fittler.
The St Helens fans have just come to life with that play, haven't they? They sense now maybe the first bit of hope to crack through this Rooster defence, which was the best in the Australian competition last year. Aidy Gardner well placed to take that kick on the full.
Positioned himself perfectly. It was Craig Wing's kick, looking for the touchline. Only found Gardner. Gardner struggling to his feet under the weight of 2 defenders. Sculthorpe wide to Long. Long, he really does look up for this. Said in the press this week that this is his chance to re-establish himself as Britain's #1 scrum half. Good work from Stankovic. He finds Sculthorpe. Battling run from Sculthorpe. Cut down by Kalis. Penalty.
Holding his legs.
Kalis holding the legs of Paul Sculthorpe as he tried to regain his feet.
So a lot of the good work done by John Stankovic to actually offload in the tackle that put the extra pressure on Jason Kalis to commit that penalty. Foul now, could be another 2 points though. They kicked a touch, St Helens.
Yes, Tommy Martin has taken control of the situation. They kicked a touch, they go for ground. They're 20 metres away. Ian Millward, Kieran Cunningham alongside him. How they would love to have Cunningham out there. How he would love to be out there. Darren Britt drives it in, first tackle. The Saints are 11 metres short of the line. Hooper's the dummy half. Here is Stankovic, back to Hooper. Oh, and that was touched by Morley. That's going to be a knock-on.
Well, he got himself into no man's land, didn't he, Adrian Morley? He was between the ball and the man. Wasn't sure who to go for, through the right time out. Had it gone behind too long, there was a hole. Pressure now on the Roosters' defence.
Well, no one will know more than Adrian Morley about the pressure that's on St Helens from a British point of view. But he wants to go home victorious, and home is now Australia for Adrian Morley. He's bought property down there, although he's off contract with the Roosters at the end of this season. This is joint. A great opportunity here for St Helens in their attacking position. Hooper to Long. Long back to Sculthorpe. Back to Long. Wide it goes to Gleeson. Oh, Gleeson couldn't take the ball in. Gardner was waiting outside him, and Gleeson just fumbled it.
Great opportunity they created on the side. The pass to Gleeson, just not to hand. Hegarty had come in field. He knows again. He won't get too many opportunities down at that end of the field.
4 trophies in 3 years for Ian Millward. Can he become the first coach to win a World Club Challenge twice? Here come the Roosters, though. This is Justin Hodges. The handling errors, all square. Just the boot of Craig Fitzgibbon separating the 2 sides where it matters on the scoreboard. Here come Sydney again. Good defence from St Helens, but great hands from the Roosters. And here is the magician. Here is Fittler. And Fittler with the kick for Minicello to chase. Darren Smith is after it. Darren Smith loses it. Sean Long picks it up.
Well, Darren Smith saved his side on 2 occasions.
With chases down like that. What a run from the veteran Darren Smith. He's 34 years of age.
2.
We said that the St Helens side had a very compressed defensive line.
3 to me.
And Fittler recognised that if they could get outside the fringe, there was a chance to make something of it. The kick to the floor, excellent. He had the chase with it, but Darren Smith, well, he might not have scored, but he saved his side. He has contributed about 8 to 10 points already. Good defence from Ricketson again.
And Scott Thorpe judged to have lost the ball by Russell Smith. Actually, it was off his own man's hand there.
With the ball, and then Sean Long picked the ball up. What about fucking hands? No,
if you're aggressive in defence, you've always a chance of forcing a mistake. This was the missed try. Todd Payton and Darren Smith, all sorts of bodies coming in, piling on it.
What an effort from Darren Smith it was, and he needed a little bit of treatment as well after that, probably a bit of oxygen for the lungs.
Well, he's the oldest player on the field, isn't he, at 34.
Stay.
Remember, this season the coaches have 4 men on the bench. They can make 12 changes. That includes the blood bins. That ball went behind the man it was intended to. Minicello feeds it out wide though, and this is Todd Byrne.
No tackle there in the flop, mate.
And St Helens now penalised for the flop.
Well, he did, didn't he? Came in slightly too late, Paul Newlove. Which is all the Roosters will elect to kick at goal.
Yes, I think they are the touch judges being sent round the back of the post. Paul Newlove, the man adjudged to have dropped on the Roosters player. There's Ricky Stewart, the Roosters coach. He guided the club to their first premiership in 27 years in 2002. And of course this Sydney Roosters outfit has a great British connection during its history. Phil Clark, of course, Dean Bell, Joe Lydon, Martin Afire, Harvey Howard, and now Adrian Morley, all in their colours.
It wasn't a season without its ups and downs though, Eddie. You know, they lost 4 of the first 5 games, all sorts of pressure on the coach. He actually issued an apology to the fans, asking them to stick with the team. They did that, and oh boy, did he turn it around.
Here's Fitzgibbon again then, he's kicked the only attempt he's had so far tonight. This is a lot more difficult, 10 metres in from touch on that far side. He's kicked it though. Fitzgibbon is on form with the boot, and the Roosters have a 4-point lead here against the British champions St Helens. Craig Fitzgibbon's boot has given the Roosters a 4-0 advantage. And there is Ian Millwood, John Sharp alongside him.
They won't be too worried at this stage. They've created the opportunity to score tries, just haven't taken them at this stage.
They have. It's been pretty even, Stephen, hasn't it?
Oh, very much.
Get him low.
And it's Sydney Roosters who are in possession. Phil, let me just put one question to you briefly. We all know, of course, the problems the Bulldogs had last year with their salary cap. They were running away with the Sydney Premiership in many ways. Would the Roosters be here tonight had the Bulldogs not had all those points stripped from them because of salary cap infringements?
Well, I'll answer it by saying that I think really to win a championship in rugby, you can only peak for maybe a certain period. The Bulldogs had peaked very early in the season, and I'm not sure when it came to the playoffs they would have done that again.
Here come the Roosters again. Another kick early over the top. That was by Hodges, but that finds its way to touch. They are certainly kicking early, aren't they? They're trying to turn St Helens round, keeping them thinking.
Well, again, a lot of ground. They'll be happy with the turnover, although again, what might worry St Helens is the fact that they are exploiting the gaps outside on the fringes. Good early, long, quality passes from Fittler, and Hodges gets some chance down that side. Kicks over, plenty of Saints cover.
Stay in the pack, Lou.
Hodges with that early kick. This now is the Saints again, but look at the tackling from Justin Hodges. Nowhere that Gleeson could go. Here is Stankovic again, 20 metres away from his own line. Hooper, the dummy half. Barry Ward. Barry Ward thinking of offloading, and does brilliantly to Hooper.
Well, in the British game, it's the St Helens offloads that kill a lot of their opponents. Will the same be the same for the Roosters?
Oh, that's on the fall from Tommy Martin. Out on the fall, ball will come back 40 metres from the Saints line, scrum down.
He's usually one of the best kickers of the ball in the country. It's a couple of times tonight. He's not quite hit the spot.
The moment it left his boot, he knew it was sailing out on the fall.
Hold on, Martin. Stay in, Scully. Stay in the pack.
So ball is out, and it's with the Roosters in the shape of wing.
Let him up one, to me.
Plays the ball to Fittler, to Fitzgibbon. Good strong run from the second row again, halted by Sean Long and Martin Gleeson. Here's Hegarty now. Angled run, oh, not the best ball, I must say, but
Cusack did well to hang on to it.
he did, under pressure from his opposite number, Barry Ward. Wing again. Finch. Just on.
Get up.
10 metres away. Craig Wing. Fittler on an angled run. And that was touched in flight. It's going to be 6 to go here. Back to 6 on the tackle count. Saints hand touched that. Fitzgibbon retains possession for his team.
0.
Wing the dummy half. Ricketson was the angled runner. He went the other way though. Here's Minicello. Good defence.
The Roosters look dangerous when Wing starts to run from the dummy half position. Just these players to run into holes.
Ricketson back on the inside it goes. That's Payton. He keeps it going. Here is Fittler. Oh, lost his footing at the vital moment. They're right underneath the posts. Craig Wing again. Long to Finch. A dab to the in-goal area. And well played by the St Helens defender, Aidy Gardner.
Well, he had was outnumbered 3 to 1 on that occasion. Excellent kick through from Brett Finch. The ball's just going to sit up there invitingly in the in-goal area. But Gardner does really, really well. Here's set up as well by Fittler with the run into the danger zone. Darren Albert did well to stop him. It sort of slipped before he got there.
And I've noticed here that Brad Fittler has actually left the field with blood streaming from a head wound, so he's in the blood bin. And they're going to have to patch Brad Fittler up. He won't want to be off the field for too long. Here now is Flannery. Hegarty waits at dummy half. Cusack to drive it in again.
Release! Get up it! Wait, buddy.
Cusack to his feet. Wing at dummy half. Here is Finch. Oh, big hit by Barry Ward.
Straight into him. What a welcome to your first team.
He felt that. Good play by Wing. Fitzgibbon. All down on the last tackle. They're 4 metres away from the line. And this is Crocker. Back it goes to Finch. Finch will hoist it out wide. Here's a test. Oh, he was jumped in front of then, surely. The ball's out anyway. And Stewart was waiting for that over on that far side, and as Rooster just launched himself.
It was Minicello who just got up in the air, flew like a rooster, but nowhere near the ball. St Helens will be delighted, Eddie. They've withstood a sustained period of pressure.
Minicello certainly was.
Any more points.
Minicello was trying to put young Anthony Stewart off. Changes again by the Saints. And here now is Long.
Could do with a winning penalty or something here now from Russell Smith, just to break the momentum in the cycle. It's been a monotonous period for them down in their own half. The last 5 minutes hasn't been a lot of pleasure, quite a bit of pain.
And a lot of pain there for Sculthorpe. That was a challenge by Morley. He felt that. That's not the best kick either. And the Roosters will run this ball back at them again. This is a terrific run here from Todd Byrne.
It's a dangerous sign when you can crack through the kick chase team.
Come on, Danny!
This is Finch. And here is Flannery. Good defence from Gleeson and Gardner.
Dan, get on your chance, come on!
Shannon Hegarty waits, gets it at dummy half, drives forward.
Well, if he gets to dummy half, you know he's going to just do one thing, Hegarty. He's just going to run and take the yards.
Cusack again. It's taking 3 St Helens players to bring him down. Ward there. Also Smith and Tim Yonkers. Little pop ball there for Luke Ricketson. And Ricketson gifts the ball to Yonkers, who gets away from Crocker.
How well did he read that? He just knew Ricketson had done that run back across the ruck 3 or 4 occasions, usually gave it to the man. This time delayed it a little longer. Yonkers put himself in the right place. Sculthorpe and Crocker having a bit of a punch-up in back play.
No way. Don't get involved.
Penalty here for St Helens, not for the incident involving Sculthorpe, but for this on Hyam.
the second push down.
The second push there.
Well, we said they needed a penalty. That's just got them out of the half.
Well, it's a fantastic start to the new season, this.
Get 'em low.
Terrific game.
It's one release.
You talk about whether the Roosters maybe were lucky to be here with what happened with the Bulldogs. The same could be said for St Helens by one or two Bradford fans, I've no doubt.
Absolutely. Here is Stewart now.
Two, get up.
With the speed of the defence of both sides is eye-catching. It's breathless. And it's St Helens' turn now to ask the questions in attack. Mickey Hyan down the wing to Newlove. And Newlove's away. He gets the ball out wide. This is Stewart. Big hit from Stewart. Was he over the line?
What defence, Eddie? How did they stop him a yard from the line?
Here they come again. Martin just fumbled it. They've lost ground. Long continues the movement on. This is Darren Albert. That's the last. They've lost a bit of momentum here, those Saints. Martin trying to inject some speed again. Long to Yonkers. Here is Sculthorpe. Great tackle by Hegarty.
Well, we've seen desperate defence at both ends. It's prevented the opponents from scoring. Paul Newlove, he had a massive game against the Broncos 2 years ago in the corresponding match. He set up Stewart on a run to the line. But does he get the ball on the line?
Well, the referee had no doubts. He didn't go to the video ref.
The touch judge was well placed to see also.
Wonderful tackle by Minicello. He was airborne.
Pushed him, Chris.
And there's now a penalty going the Roosters' way. Joint adjudged to have pushed the man as he tried to get back to his feet. It's breathless, Phil.
Pushed him, pushed the arm.
I think both sides just taking a breather for a second, aren't they? They've been drying the ball before the kick to touch. And the fastest 28 minutes of rugby league I've ever seen.
With me, lads, come on.
Super game.
Go on, Martin.
And this season, of course, stretches out before us to the end of November when that Ashes tour finishes. What a season it promises to be. 2003, 2002 was good. 2003 will be better still. This is sensational, and it's with Craig Fitzgibbon again. Crocker waits at dummy half. They come down the short side, and this is Payton. They're inching closer to that line. They're about 3 metres away. Crocker, Finch, Wing. Wing taking them on at the middle. Well done in defence there by Mark Edmondson and Chris Joint. Adrian Morley waits at dummy half on the last. He's injured. Finch with a crossfield kick. Wonderful kick too. And Sculthorpe diffuses the bomb.
No, quick.
Well, we're just going to have another look. Stewart going to the line. He hits the ground just short. He sees probably, 12 inches from the line. His momentum takes him forward. You just can't quite see it. Payton's trying his best to prevent him rolling onto the line.
The touch judge is on over on that far side, as you can see. Referee Russell Smith taking a report. There's a Sydney player down. I think it's Wing who is receiving treatment.
Reporting an incident that deserves a penalty.
Yes.
Whereabouts? Over here. On the kick, Russell.
And it was Barry Ward. Finch
so he's kicked
took
here.
that in the chin.
In goal for the
off the elbow of Barry Ward.
Okay, so you've got a penalty from that position.
So the Roosters get a penalty and they're bang in front of the sticks.
We're very concerned though with the fact they're going to lose Craig Wing here. His left foot or ankle. He's undecided whether to come off. Barry Ward's pretty lucky to be staying on. Wing's on about coming off.
Well, the touch judge saw it, but he didn't see maybe just how ferocious it was. Let's have another look, and oh, that's a bad one.
It's very bad. He probably knows that Brett Finch is one of the most accurate kickers in the game. We've seen 2 kicks from him and they've both been quality, but that's not really the way to put him under pressure.
10 metres out. It's around about here, mate. Anyway, from the 10-metre mark out.
Well, there's Craig Wing, the man who was hobbled off, as Phil was saying, something maybe with the ankle or certainly a leg problem. It wasn't him who was involved in the incident with Barry Ward. It was Finch. It looks as though they've got a problem there.
He's going to be the best looking hooker in the history of rugby league. He supplements his income as a male model actually back in Sydney.
Fitzgibbon has added another 2 points to the Roosters total. He's just chipping away at the St Helens confidence with 3 penalties. Well, we all know what hookers can look like. Clarky, can't we? Our absent friend.
You know, have seen only 3 kicks, but it could have almost been 3 tries for both sides. There's been so many opportunities.
Tommy Martin gets us underway again. Roosters ahead by 6 points to 0. Here is Payton again. Well, it's getting a bit tasty on sideline as well, and Chris Warren's news of the Roosters' injuries. Chris?
Well, they're screaming out for the medicos. It looks like Freddie will be about 1 or 2 minutes away. He's been getting stitched up, a pretty nasty head gash, but he will be back. The big blow, though, Craig Wing limping from the field. His left ankle looks in a fair bit of damage. I'm not sure if he will get back, although he just wants to get some feeling in it. So a lot of pressure on new recruit number 7, Brett Finch.
Indeed so. This is Anthony Stewart. He's tackled, and he's around about 15 metres from his own line. Saints having the Devil's own job working it away. Sean McRae is our man on side. Sean, it's a rip-roaring start, but Saints gradually having their confidence eroded with this 6-0 lead.
Yeah, they're hanging in there pretty well, though, Eddie. I mean, they've had to withstand a lot of pressure from Sydney City. I think Sydney City's kicking game's been slightly better than St Helens, but St Helens' usage of the short side is just absolutely marvellous. They do it probably better than any side in the world, I think, and they've been a little bit unlucky. They've created some opportunities and just been short of the line, and it's a pretty tight game, really. I think, once again, I've got to say the skill level of both teams for so early in the season is absolutely fantastic. The pace is frenetic, and I just get a feeling this is going to go to the wire again.
Looks like it, doesn't it?
It sure does. You know, the Roosters are very lucky that they've got 3 excellent kickers of the ball in the squad, because 2 of them are off the field at the moment in Wing and Fittler. They're lucky they've got Brett Finch out there, who does have an excellent kicking game.
Well, there is Brad Fittler, just been patched up. A few stitches in a head wound, apparently.
4, release! Come, Mick.
This is Crocker, and he is Payton on halfway. Great offload, but he puts it down there, does Finch, under pressure.
I'm not too happy about being bagged by a couple of St Helens players here for a mistake. Todd Payton is a good front rower and does like to get his arm free if he can. Both were at Canberra together last year. Finch in support, but attention from joints forced a mistake.
Stay in the pack, who's forward?
Sculthorpe from the base of the scrum. Tackled by Morley, so quick.
Oh, it's almost as if he knew he was going to go there, didn't he?
Well, colleagues for Great Britain, of course. They probably know each other inside out, those two. Mickey Hyan filling the considerable shoes of Kieran Cunningham tonight, but he's not a bad little replacement to have. Mickey Hyan, here he is again. Finds Sculthorpe, wide to Gleeson. Hegarty was on him before he received the ball. Ricketson helping out as well. Sculthorpe. Hyan to Long. Long attacking the line, but on his own, and Morley all over him. Last tackle, is it? No, the referee hasn't signalled that. Yes, he has now. And they're caught in possession, Saints.
Well, maybe like you, he signalled a little late. Some of the players weren't aware.
His hand wasn't up. Then he shouted as the tackle was completed.
Now inside the last 10 minutes, a few players slightly fatiguing.
Great offload there by Hodges. Kept this movement going once again.
Is that one? Let him up now.
And Crocker gets to his feet. Quick play of the ball. This is Finch. Barry Ward gets to him legally this time. Helped out by Tommy Martin. Crocker again. Here's Morley once more.
3, let him up. Hands off, quickly.
It's an important passage of the game coming up for St Helens now, because the ball's sticking in those arms of the Roosters, and they've had to do a lot of defending, the Saints, a lot of tackling. Here's Crocker attacking the line again. Good tackle by Joyce. Last one. Whoop. Fiddled by Flannery, held on, good angle kick, Fitzgibbon, he scores! Now that the referee will go to the video referee just to check the offside, but Fitzgibbon just caught the St Helens defence napping, and Fitzgibbon, if he's onside, has increased the lead here.
He looks onside to me, clearly behind the line. The penalty box from the soccer markings are a clear indicator here.
Yes, he's onside easily.
You know, he did well, because I don't think he expected the ball, did he? He stood at first receiver, he juggled it once or twice. He finds that hole there just behind the defensive line, and the ball sits up very kindly for Craig Fitzgibbon. He's made his kick very easy by putting it next to the post. We just wait for the official notification. Here it comes.
No doubt at all. Well, he's having a wow of a game, is Mr. to Fitzgibbon. The Roosters have got 10 points and they all belong to him, and he's about to kick the goal here to make it 12.
Here you see, he juggles it once or twice, quick kick off the side, hits the hole, knew it was coming. Well, that is quality, to execute that at that level. There was the kick as well, following it up.
Well, it's the Craig Fitzgibbon show here. He scored all 12 of the Roosters' points, and the Saints are up against it. 12-0 at the Reebok Stadium in Bolton. The champions of Great Britain up against the champions of Australia, and at the moment, the Roosters, they're the ones who are doing the crowing.
Well, it is 12-0, but really, you wouldn't be lying if you said there's nothing really been in the difference between these two sides. Both have had their opportunities.
I did say it was a vital passage of the game that was approaching the last 5 or 6 minutes of this first half. St Helens, they've had to put so much work in, chasing almost and harassing, making all the tackles. It's bound to take its toll.
I'd even go so far as to say, Eddie, that the next 5 minutes are even more important. When you've seen Brad Fittler playing in the green and gold for Australia, it's been at times like this that they've really given you that killer blow. Another try on the back of that would make life very, very hard for St Helens.
Hands off, Mick. Wait, Tim.
Fitzgibbon plays the ball to Crocker. It goes back to Finch, and he will kick it downfield. Oh, and it was a nasty bounce that just eluded Darren Albert, and it's given the Roosters the opportunity to really close him down. And here comes Adi Gardner again. Good tackle by Payton.
Well, they brought Darren Brick back on the field, St Helens. They know they need some impact.
This is Gleeson. He's away from Fittler, but he can't get away from Flannery or Fitzgibbon. This defence from the Sydney Roosters is tigerish. Here's Britt, just back on.
They need to be able to go forward before they can go around the Roosters.
Sculthorpe. Terrific defence from the Sydney Roosters so far. Gleeson, it's been pretty good for St Helens as well, it must be said. As Phil says, nothing too much between the two sides. That's a wonderful take from Minicello. Good chase, though, by Tommy Martin.
Well, it was. Michael Crocker put Sean Long under a lot of pressure, and despite that dangerous kick, but the Saints players couldn't get there in time to challenge for it. The Roosters maybe look to go wide. This is where Brad Fittler's mind starts to work in double fast time. He's the creative director for them.
Wait, lads, wait. Mick, you've got to get up quicker, Mick. You're messing about.
Crocker gets the ball inside. Here's Kalis, younger brother of the New Zealand Test captain Nathan Kalis. Good hands here from the Roosters. Here they come with the speedsters down the wing. This is Todd Byrne, and Minicello is there, and so too is Finch, and they've helped it on, and this could be a glorious moment for Adrian Morley. It's a glorious moment for Morley, and Ricky Stewart, his captain, his coach rather, up on his feet and applauding that try. That was out of the very top draw. Fantastic hands, and Morley, the big man, motoring up in support, and that is a very, very big blow to Saints.
Well, Sean McRae spoke about the skill factor. Here is a fantastic demonstration. I've no doubt junior sides will use this as an example for kids playing in this country. The support play and the handling skills are fantastic. It's why you do drills upon drills, really, to improve that. And Adrian Morley deserves everything he can get here because he's run a very, very long way to get the 4 points. Minicello, Hodges does well, he just draws in Stewart. I mean, it's just timing of the passing and at such speed is fantastic. Well done, Adrian Morley. You deserved it.
And Fitzgibbon does not miss those. So St Helens suddenly have a mountain to climb courtesy of this fellow, Adrian Morley. His try improved by Fitzgibbon. Look at that scoreline, 18-0.
Hey, don't worry yet, Eddie. 2 years ago, they were 18 points to 6 down in the second half against the Broncos, and the St Helens side came back. If you analyse Ian Millward in the last couple of years, you realise he doesn't coach moves, he coaches attitude. The attitude to try the unexpected, that their opponents can't score against them, and that no matter what, they can still win the game.
Well, you're right, Phil, and if any team can, it's St Helens. But it's going to be one almighty effort now. Flannery for the Roosters. just a couple of flashes of inspirational brilliance from the Roosters.
Well, if you had frustration there now with Sculthorpe.
I think it was Flannery, was it? Yes, it was. Chris Flannery and Sculthorpe pushing and shoving. And I think it's the penalty's gone against Paul Sculthorpe.
He's trying to turn him over, isn't he? Just going back to that last try, Eddie, if you'd had a player cam on Brad Fittler, you'd have seen in the first couple of tackles that his mind, he'd seen the chance and he knew what they were going to try.
Pull him off, okay? Let me just call the tackle.
Sculthorpe was penalised for pushing as the grounded player Flannery got to his feet. That ball has been stolen. Kalis had the ball pinched in a more than one-man tackle, and they're going to kick for goal. I think the signal... No, they're not. I think the signal was to kick for goal, but they're going to run it. They're in injury time, added time here. Here's Kalis. That should be the last tackle of this first half, and it is. Well, a match that was balanced neatly on a knife edge. The boot of Fitzgibbon was all that separated the two sides for half an hour, but then 2 tries in 4 minutes has rocked the Saints back on their heels. And the Sydney Roosters, the NRL premiers from Australia, they lead at half-time by 18 points to 0.
Updating Fox Sports News, selectors are expected to make 2 changes to Australia's World Cup lineup for tonight's game against India. Darren Lehmann is back after serving a 5-match ban for racial abuse, while Michael Bevan returns from injury. Cricket's World Cup Technical Committee will announce its decision over England's match in Zimbabwe later this afternoon. England wants the game to be moved to South Africa because of security concerns. And a disastrous start to New Zealand's defence of the America's Cup. The Kiwis had to pull out of the first race against the Swiss challengers after their boat suffered a series of gear breakages. We'll have full details of all of these stories tonight on Fox Sports News at 7 o'clock.
Hi. Mind if you join in?
Sure, but it's serious. We're playing for beers. You bet, man, and you.
Students and teachers, go Harvey Norman for these amazing offers. Microsoft Office XP Professional Academic Edition, now only $249. Microsoft Office version 10 Academic for Apple Mac, now only $249. Or create your very own web pages with Microsoft Front Page 2002 Academic Edition, a great buy at just $159. Check out the affordable range of Microsoft academic software available now for students and teachers at your local Harvey Norman store.
There are sports, and there are extreme sports, just like there are compact four-wheel drives, and there's the Nissan X-Trail. Its extreme interior has clever features like a washable luggage board and drink coolers. The X-Trail. Only Nissan takes the compact four-wheel drive to the extreme.
This big Wednesday on the NBL, we're back in the nation's capital. The Canberra Cannons look to take the sting out of the Taipans fight in another hard-fought game. Live and exclusive, the Cannons take on the Taipans 7:30 Wednesday, Fox Sports 1.
A first-up win has given Canada a boost for its clash against more experienced Kenya.
Oh, he's played that beautifully.
Could the Canucks be the surprise package of Group B? Live, Kenya-Canada in the World Cup. Tonight, Fox Sports 2.
And at half-time, it's a chilly story for the Saints. The Roosters are ahead by 18 points to 0. It was the Craig Fitzgibbon show for a wee while in that first half, and then Adrian Morley got in on the act. And there are the stats from the first half. And Morley has had a wow of a half, hasn't he? 16 tackles and a try. playing well. Cast your mind back a couple of years on this ground when St Helens played the Brisbane Broncos. They were 18 points to 6 down. The Saints came back and snatched a victory by 20 points to 18. And it's 8 years since St Helens last failed to register a point in a game of rugby league. It was in a match against Wakefield. They lost 15 points to 0. So they can score points, they do score points, but I think, Phil, as I said at half-time, St Helens must score first in this second half.
Yeah, when you think back a couple of years ago, it's Paul Newlove who perhaps turned the game that night. Somebody with his power would be just what St Helens need. Good field positions, the first thing I'm sure Millwall will go for, and that's not the best way to start the half. Not enough length on the kick.
No, if I might be critical of Tommy Martin, he hasn't kicked well tonight from the start. And that was a poor kick-off right down the throat of the Sydney player.
It's amazing how quickly defenders... Oh,
good charge down by Martin, though. But there was always a man there in support, and Minicello's the man who picked up the pieces. Oh, great support, and it came in from Justin Hodges. Spun to the ground, though, by Mickey Hyam. Crocker, and here is Finch, starting to just exert his authority on the match. Brett Finch, the man that came to Sydney in the close season from Canberra. Flannery, good tackle though by Sean Long.
It was a good angle he ran too, didn't he? See how he drifted away from the ball to try and get to the outside of his man. Long read it very well.
Haggerty disappears under the weight of 3 defenders. That's Crocker. This is Fittler. There's the high bomb. That's going to be too deep. That's in the front row of the stand almost, isn't it? No, it came right back. And Albert is the man who defused the bomb. Well, that looked as though it was sailing out over the dead ball line.
Didn't it make it look easy the way he just caught it? Threw it back to his teammates. This is the tough part now. They're having to offload to get some yardage really out of their own area. The danger sometimes when you do that is a handling error, or the fact that you don't even make any more ground by doing so.
Get back!
This defence is so quick from the Roosters.
It's taking them back about 15 metres as well at times, Russell Smith, so it just shows you the speed with which they're moving up.
Stand square!
They'll be well pleased with their first 40 minutes. I think Ian Milburn will be pleased to a degree, but when he looks at the scoreline, he will be anything but pleased. But it was a good performance for Saints for about 35 minutes. Oh, picked out of the air there by Payton. Here come the Roosters with Finch. He's got Darren Albert after him. Albert misses the tackle. Oh, and the ball is gifted to Yonkers. He couldn't take it in. And this is Crocker, and Long comes back. Well, that was a comedy of errors, but I'm afraid nobody's laughing in the St Helens side.
He won't be able to go wide here, but the ball has decided to come to the right again through Payton. He's had a big game for his first time out with the Roosters.
One release!
Payton eventually grounded, but that's only the first tackle. And here is Chad Robinson.
2, get up in!
Well, it's vital that St Helens hold out here. Crocker to Finch. Wide it goes to Fittler. Good ball, Fitzgibbon. Great defence. 3 tackles gone. They're halfway through this set of 6. Good ball to Crocker again. Saints standing firm in defence so far, but they're inching closer to that line. They're 2 metres away. A right mess. Fittler is there. Hands it back, a drive in by the big forward Payton, and Saints withstand the pressure. That's the last. Crocker, Fittler, and Hyam was all over him, but he still got the ball away to Finch. And Finch always got away from 2 would-be tacklers. Here is Minicello still on the last. This is Kalis now, and Kalis puts boot to ball.
Hey, it's not a bad kick either, Eddie.
It's a great kick, and Anthony Stewart collects it just a metre away from his own try line.
Well, his teammates will be relieved he wasn't pushed back into the in-goal area, although the Roosters, just look how quick defenders move up when they've got a chance of forcing their opponents in the in-goal area. The Saints fans screaming at the referee for offside, anything, they just want a penalty, they know. They need something to get out of here.
Oh, it's risky business, but they have to take chances, but a great tackle by Haggerty on Long. That's 4 tackles gone. St Helens have made only 6 metres in those 4 tackles. Can they make more ground here with Sculthorpe? Not much, just another 10. It's the last tackle. There's got to be a good kick here from Long. This is Yonkers, it's on the last. Here is Long, it gets to him eventually, and Long just hoiks it downfield to relieve the pressure.
Well, a great kick under the circumstances, Eddie.
But Yonkers, I don't think, heard the call, and Russell Smith had to shout at him a second time.
I was surprised they threw him the ball. It would probably be the best kick option. The Roosters really want to go on with it. They've upped the intensity since half-time, and Saints have to not only match that, but rise above it.
They have, and I think the Roosters know that if they score here, it could just be the killer blow. And Morley playing so well. It's great to see from a British point of view with the Ashes Test Series looming at the end of the season, but it could have been on another night. Here's Morley again. He gets the ball away to Fittler. Cut-out pass to Crocker. Good defence from Gleeson.
They're looking dangerous, strong in the middle, dangerous out wide.
A dab to the corner, that's going to be too deep. Even Hegarty with all his speed couldn't reach that. Let's get the half-time news from the two camps. We're a little late, but let's get down to Bill and also Chris. Bill first for Saints.
Eddie, you've mentioned the fact that St Helens have come back from this sort of deficit before, and I think that's what's going to fuel their second half effort. They have got great belief in themselves. They've shown that before in Super League, as their rivals in the competition will testify, and they reckon they can come back from this deficit at the moment. But the one area that Ian Millwood thinks they've got to improve on, if they're going to do that, is the kicking game, which has been pretty abysmal by their own standards so far. They've got to get that right if they're going to get into the field position to do some damage to this Roosters defence, and so far there's no sign of that kicking game improving. Let's see what the Roosters news is. Here's Chris Warren.
Well, Ian Millwood talking about the kicking game. So too was Ricky Stewart, of course, who was the master of the long kick. He wants to see good kick chase from his team. He said, keep the composure, let's do the things that enable us to earn that 18-point lead, and we'll come home. But some of the ball control he's been very impressed with. It's the stuff you'd like to see in September, but to see it already in February, very impressive indeed. He did say, let's keep an eye on our short side defence.
Well, there's the mistake that St Helens were hunting. It's from Craig Fitzgibbon under pressure from Tommy Martin. And Chris Joint, as we watch the replay here, Newlove couldn't take the ball in. The referee, though, will play the first knock on. There it is by Fitzgibbon. And Chris Joint was rallying his troops then, wanting a big effort.
This is the reason why field position is so important. If you can force a mistake, and at the Roosters end of the field, all of a sudden you have a chance of 4 points.
And it's with Long. Trying to go around Brad Fittler, but Fittler just forced him back. Gleeson, dummy half, 20 metres away, Yonkers. But St Helens just channeling it up the middle. They need to really spin it through the hands. They might now, with Sculthorpe. He steps out of one challenge, on one knee, couldn't get the ball away. Roosters scampering back in defence. Here's Joint, here's Newlove, the man who lifted them here 2 years ago against Brisbane. Can he do the same again? Joint waits at dummy half. Sculthorpe, first receiver, it goes wide to Darren Britt, who'll drive it in turn, couldn't get the pass away. High and in at dummy half. Last tackle here, Long. Yonkers back to Long, a stab to the in-goal area. Minicello takes control. Trapped in goal, they're going to get 6 more.
Well, now here's a chance. Sustained pressure on the Roosters line. Good kick into the in-goal area. The Roosters read it well. Again, Minicello. Very impressive in the full-back position. Expect him to play representative rugby at some stage in Australia this year.
Arguably the best kick we've seen from St Helens tonight. Forces another set of 6.
The Roosters have certainly given Paul Sculthorpe priority status, and whenever he gets the ball, there are defenders around him instantly. They just need maybe somebody else to come up with the creativity to get them through this Roosters defence.
Here is Tim Yonkers, bounces off one. It was Payton, couldn't get away from Kalis. Here now is Darren Britt. Boy, they got some length on that drop out the Roosters, didn't they? Saints have to work the ball back half the length of the field. They're in possession here with Martin. This now is Chris Joint. A try here and Saints would rally. It's with Hyan at dummy half. Misses out Britt, finds Long. Long on to Sculthorpe. Wide it goes to Gleeson. Risky. Haggerty was looking for the intercept.
Read it well. Straight on to Gleeson.
Darren Smith now. Last tackle though. They've made 34 metres. They're still 20 away. Long, another lovely little dink over the top. Well picked up by Minicello.
Oh, he's helped Hodges, and Finch gave him some cover. Speed across the ground was what took him and got him into the position. But just look now again, it's the Saints side. We're sprinting up, looking to force a handling error.
Remember, we're watching what was the best defence in Australia last year, and here they come now in attack with Flannery. He's got Hegarty on his outside. Flannery might lead him. Wonderful tackle from Darren Albert. And now Gardner is in touch. Penalty to St Helens.
Alderson thinks they need to go in their favour. Fantastic tackle from Darren Albert. Greg Flannery into touch. I'm surprised the touch judge's flag didn't go up. He must have said he released the ball before. And it's Hegarty who's penalised for belatedly forcing Gardner out of play. A lift now in the St Helens camp.
Well, somewhat belatedly, let's welcome our viewers to Channel 9 in Australia. We're live down under as well this evening, as well as up here in the UK. And the Roosters, they are treating us to a terrific World Club challenge. And St Helens are matching them toe-to-toe. Just a couple of flashes of inspiration from the Australian champions. That's the difference between the two sides. 18-0 the Roosters lead. But Saints looking to respond. Here is Darren Britt.
Taking them forward well, they need that, just forcing the Roosters back. On the back of that, what can Sculthorpe do?
Wide it goes to Gleeson. Hegarty is sniffing the interception every time that ball's fed out wide. This is the last. It's with Yonkers. Long call for it and got it. There's the kick out wide. But that bounces almost aimlessly into the arms of Todd Byrne. And, well, Long was under pressure, but Bill Arthur, he said it, because it came from the Saints dressing room. Their kicking game tonight has been poor by their own high standards.
It has been poor, but compliment the Roosters really, because they've pinpointed the kickers from St Helens and put pressure on them when it gets to the fifth tackle. And really that's the reason why they've picked up possession. I mean, kick receptions are one of the most important parts of the game. It's how you get most of your possession, and the Roosters have received it on their own terms.
This is Crocker now, and Yonkers after him with Hyam. And Crocker is halted on the halfway line on the last tackle. There's Finch with the kick, looking for the touchline and finds it. Anthony Stewart was not interested in making a play for that. Cold night, icy fingers, you never know.
You just wonder now, of that last 5, 6, 7 minute period, was that St Helens opportunity to get back into the game? The Roosters have managed to get themselves out of the danger zone.
Well, the Saints are the most successful side of the summer era. They are the entertainers of the British game. And whenever they are involved in a match, you never say never. 4 trophies for them in 3 years. It'll need a big effort tonight. 12 minutes gone, second half. Time running out. Try now would do them the world of good. But what a defence on show from the Roosters here. The best in the Australian game. Long. Great tackle. It was Cusack. Hyam. Sculthorpe on the charge. Last tackle again. Penalty to St Helens. He's getting a little bit fed up with it, Paul Sculthorpe. Fitzgibbon. The judge to have had the second snap at him. Well, they won't be interested in 2, Phil.
No, here's a chance. Here's a chance to get back in the World Club Challenge. 6 tackles here, and I think they need 6 points at the end of it.
Ricky Stewart, you saw a glimpse of him just watching on anxiously. He knows as well as everybody in this ground that Saints can turn anything around. That's going to be a knock-on against Finch. He's not blown it. The referee hasn't blown it. And he's allowing Byrne to go all the way. And Byrne will go over the line. But surely the referee will take a look. Surely the referee will look at that.
Let's have a look, Dave. Did he play at it or not is the question.
Well, the big question, and this is one of the new interpretations this year. Did the Rooster in defence, did he play at the ball or did the ball play him? He played at it.
Of course he did. Came off Brett Finch's right hand. Attempt to either knock the ball down or clamp possession on Sean Long. Dances around, throws the right arm, it comes off his hand.
This is a contentious rule though, Phil, because look at the eyes and the head of Finch. He is not looking at the ball, he's looking to make the tackle. Look, he's not looking at the ball, this could be given.
You might be right.
Ball and all tackle these days will be allowed.
You won't be popular, but you might be right. They do very well anyway to score, don't they, the length of the field. The transition from defence to attack from the Roosters here.
I tell you what, if this is given, this crowd will go potty. But this is one of the contentious new rules. Did he play intentionally for the ball? That's the decision that video referee David Campbell has got to take. I think he's going to give this.
No, I disagree, Eddie. He's not going to give it.
Look at the angle of Finch's head.
Yeah, well, it's the rules, mate.
And you can hear maybe Russell Smith in the background saying it's the rules. Here's the decision. I tell you, this is going to cause trouble all the way through this year. Ian Millwood is shocked. Ian Millwood knows the rules like the rest of us. He did not play at the ball. The try will stand. The rule change, and the crowd and the public of Rugby League don't know it. They do now.
Well, they've learned the hard way, haven't they, St Helens? I'm not sure they could have done much more, really, probably to prevent the try.
Listen to the crowd. Todd Byrne's been given the try. The Roosters fans are absolutely delighted. The Saints fans, you can see them, they are furious. So is Ian Millwood, but the rule states now, if the player does not intentionally play at the ball, try will be given. Look at it again.
Well, it's the offload from Darren Britt that creates a chance for St Helens. If you look, they had the numbers on the back, but Byrne and Finch react quicker than any of the guys in the white jerseys, and that's the key element here. The offload, maybe you're right, he tried to tackle him or clamp possession. It bounced up kindly for him, and look at the speed on Todd Byrne.
Well, the crowd, as we watch the replay again in the stadium, are far from happy. We had a meeting with Stuart Cummins just before the season started. He pointed out the new rule. A rule they've had in Australia for a year or two. They've now got another penalty. And the rule states if the man does not play at the ball intentionally, a knock-on will not be given. And I said to Stuart at the time, look, you're handing the referees one heck of a problem unless you tell the public. Well, now they know. That will be the rule in Super League this year.
Well, they know
it's contentious.
They know it, the St Helens players know it now. How do they react to it? That's a test here now for your mental toughness. You have to cop some tough decisions in life. The Roosters have just had one there now. Fittler kicks early.
And it hangs and it skips eventually and runs dead in goal. Well, they're giving the referee, Russell Smith, the round of the kitchen. It was the video referee who gave it, and the referee was right to allow play to go on, was right to hand it on to David Campbell. And when you look at the replay, David Campbell was spot on.
Well, forget that and look at Saints' reaction to it. We know they won't give in. Can they create anything to get back? Sometimes adversity brings the best out of them.
Well, contentious is a word that can only be used about... Oh, interception! Away goes Brad Fittler. And it's just gone, I'm afraid, pear-shaped for the Saints. Fittler with the interception try. They have been hunting that all night.
Well, Saints had a little option. They had to try something. Threw caution to the wind. Went wide and Fittler read it so well. Got to be the smartest rugby league player of his generation. He knew when Saints threw Britt. Darren Britt was going to offload. It was either a long ball or a short ball. Fittler guessed right. Straight into his arms. And a further 4 points. So now, just a bridge too far. Quite fitting for Brad Fittler. It could be his last ever game here in the UK. The fantastic ambassador for Rugby League from Australia. And I'm so pleased that he gets over for a try.
Well, Brad Fittler has been a pest to Great Britain for a decade. And
he's a likeable pest, but he's
absolutely,
a pest.
But he's a pest on the rugby field. And how fitting, as you say, in what could be, who knows, his last match in Great Britain that he gets over for the try. But this crowd is still buzzing and is still talking and is still giving referee Russell Smith the bird. Craig Fitzgibbon here with the opportunity to add the extra two. Fitzgibbon gets the 2 points on offer. 30 points to nil, a very lopsided scoreline right now. Well, Sean McRae is a coach in Super League. He's on the sideline. Sean, you've read these rules. You've had the meeting with Stuart Cummings as well. Was that a try? It obviously was. It's in the papers now.
It was a try for me, Eddie. It happened just in front of me, and I tell you what, my first instinct was play on. And when they went to the video decision, I was only always in favour of a try, I've got to say. I don't think Brett Finch looked at the football. I don't think he played at the ball. The ball certainly came off his hand, but he was in the process of making a tackle, and that seems to me to be the interpretation of that ruling. And I think everybody got it right, but we're all a bit unpopular because there's a lot of St Helens fans here that are not agreeing with us, I'm afraid.
But are you with me that this year in Super League 8 will be one of the most contentious rules?
Well, I'll tell you what, Eddie, we're okay because we're on television. We can go back to it. How's that going to be picked up in a game that's not? That's what concerns me a little bit. I think it's going to be more often than not clear-cut if it's a TV game, and I think that incident there was, to me, there was no real controversy about it at all, except that a lot of people wouldn't be educated about the ruling and about the interpretation of the ruling. And I think that's what we've got to get across to the public and to the followers of rugby league. Because as far as I'm concerned, it was a fair try.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sean. And, well, we'll do our best to educate the rugby league public when Boots and All returns. Yes, Boots and All is back, and we have a season preview for you on Wednesday at 8 o'clock, a 2-hour show, Sky Sports 1. Andy Farrell, the Great Britain and Wigan captain, will be in the studio with Clarkey. Steve-O will be back from Australia by then. We'll have Chris Warren, we'll have Tulson Tullett. All the boys will be in town, a 2-hour show, and, well, one of the talking points is bound to be that try that has just been awarded. But we will be looking ahead to another fantastic year of the Super League, and if what we've seen here in this second half's anything to go by, Phil, a controversial year.
Well, Will, there's a bit of an injury, I think, here. He's been out of head slam. Is it Todd Byrne lying down? You know, we go on about that try, Eddie, but let's not take anything away. They've scored 3 other tries which were valid.
Absolutely.
It's not been the difference between the game. One controversial try.
No. But that was the try.
Stankovic here, bit of a head slam for Todd Byrne. It's all right running 90 metres for a try, but that's the tougher part of rugby league.
Indeed, and it's a pretty solid pitch, I bet you. But Phil, that try took the stuffing completely out of St Helens, and it is the thing that the 20-odd thousand who are in here tonight will go home and will be talking about for the next week.
Well, I hope you're wrong, because the try that Morley scored for me should be the image that they all take away from this match.
I agree with you, but they'll be talking about that.
Hang
on. They're wrong.
Time back on. 2.
It's a game, this rugby league, that gives you talking points every time you watch it. And there will be arguments all over the country right now.
Get off!
Lockie, I'm in the middle of a match, darling.
Here is Fittler. Kick over the top, and Gardner collects. Good run from Gardner, this. But Phil, 30-0. I don't believe that Saints deserve to be on the end of a scoreline like that.
No, it's not a true reflection of the game. Just looking at Eddie Gardner there on the left wing for St Helens. Valuable experience for him. And you talk about Super League 8. He's one of the guys that I would tip to look out for this year. Only a young player with St Helens, but a very, very talented one. Huge future ahead of him. Tim Yonkers.
Here's Tim Yonkers. Fitzgibbon in there in the tackle, the number 12 for the Roosters. His 18 points tonight is a new record for the World Club Challenge. It beats the 17 scored by Paul Deacon last year. Great tackle from Byrne. There's Fitzgibbon, new points record holder in the World Club Challenge. And of course he got the Clive Churchill medal as man of the match in last year's Aussie Grand Final. Wonderful defence there from Todd Byrne.
Here, lads.
Team of all talents, this, the Roosters.
5 Saints backs, keep it 5.
You talked about the defence earlier. I mean, Ricky Stewart has turned them into a fantastic defensive unit, and that's the reason why they lifted the trophy down in Australia last year, and it's one of the reasons why they fancied maybe to do it again this year. They've had a taste of success and they want more.
And they want more points here as well, and this is Hegarty. News coming in from Bill about Darren Albert.
That's right, Eddie. Darren Albert's been pulled off with what looks like a thigh strain. It might be groin strain, but he's certainly off the pitch with that right leg iced. And I think you would never say that Saints have thrown in the towel, but they've certainly got one eye on next Friday in the big Super League 8 kick-off against the Bradford Bulls. And they've got that in mind because Darren Albert's been pulled off. Anthony Stewart, I think, has gone to full-back. And, of course, Paul Wellens wasn't risked tonight, still getting over that knee injury.
Indeed so. It's a match of monumental proportion, that, to start the new season. The Bulls and the Saints at Knowsley Road. Following night will be at Huddersfield for Warrington. Huddersfield making their bow in Super League again with the Warrington Wolves and Paul Cullen. Sky Sports 2 at 6. But Paul Wellens not here because I think they have got one eye on next week. And Ian Millwood said that they are at the starting gate of a marathon. And the marathon begins next Friday with the match against the Bulls. And that's great defence again from the Roosters.
And the thing about a marathon is it's full of its ups and downs. But once you've done it, you know that you can do anything. And St Helens, I've been through most experiences over the last few years. Some good, some bad. They usually come back stronger from it. I'm sure that will be the case after tonight's game. The Roosters have taught them a lesson, though, in excellent defence out wide.
Jason, are you surprised that Ricky Stewart has fashioned a defence like this, because he was such a wonderful attacking player himself, wasn't he?
He was, yeah, but he has had some assistance from John Cartwright. He had Dean Pay also at the club last year, a wonderful defender for Australia in Canterbury in his heyday.
And remember, of course, Ricky Stewart, forward pass there, and the referee getting ironic cheers and a little grimace from Ricky Stewart. He was part of the famous Green Machine at Canberra, wasn't he? A wonderful back line there.
You know, he played in this...
That is a forward pass.
Yeah, no doubt for that. He played for Canberra against Widnes in the World Cup Challenge back in 1989. Lost on that occasion. Looks as though he's going to be a happy winning coach tonight.
Let him up one. Keep going back, lad. Yep, that's sound.
Here goes Yonkers for the Saints. Tackling ferocious still, the Roosters. Good offload, though, to Stankovic. And Stankovic to Darren Britt. Well, one thing you can say about the champions of Great Britain, they will not throw the towel in. Sculthorpe, off the chest of Hooper. And they have it back, the Roosters. That went via Fittler to Minicello.
Let him up one.
He's had an excellent game, hasn't he, Anthony Minicello?
He has.
You might see him coming over with Australian Kangaroos at the end of the year.
Back with me, Saints. Come on,
he's only 22 years old, and he continues to develop and play as well as he did last year. It's a very good chance of doing it.
He played on the wing in the grand final success last year. Now he's operating at full-back. Here is Todd Byrne.
Come on, Jason. Let him up.
Scorer of that controversial try. That's the moment, Phil, when I think Saints put the cue on the rack, you know.
I don't know if the try just before half-time really that made it 18-0 was probably the turning point and the closer really in the game.
Look at that chase from the Roosters. They're 30-0 up and they are hunting the man in possession. It's been a wonderful exhibition, and Rickardson's back out.
Sometimes easy, isn't it? They're all so excited. They will be over here. They've had a great experience, a wonderful week. They capped it off with a good performance.
Back on the plane home in the morning, the Roosters. Their season start is some way away, middle of March, but boy, they're laying down the gauntlet, aren't they, to the rest in the NRL, who are all watching tonight live, as we say, on Channel 9 back home, courtesy of Sky Sports here in the UK. Long with a deep kick, but again, it's a kick that's straight down the throat of Minicello. The kicking game has been off tonight for St Helens.
And they've successfully denied St Helens any decent field position with which to put any pressure on the Roosters line.
Mickey, come on.
Had a few chances in this second half to attack.
Here's Flannery again. Couldn't spin away from the challenge of Darren Britt. Here's Fitzgibbon. What a massive game, this fellow.
Hey, come on to me. Let him up. Let him up. Wait, John.
Michael Crocker waits at dummy half. Finch. Dab over the top again. Gardner.
Get him low.
But he's getting quite bored of this, isn't he? Picks it up and there's about 5 guys in front of him trying to bash him as hard as they can and force him backwards.
And look for the error, just 6 or 7 metres from his own post.
That's not what you imagine, is it, when you dream of playing on the wing?
Not really.
Maybe front row, but not wing.
Here's Long.
Release. Back. Come, Brad.
Darren Britt.
Get
Couldn't get it away to Hooper.
Wait, lads.
Britt was the
Wait.
meat in the sandwich. Mickey Hyan, Sculthorpe. Joint did well, but Finch around him immediately. And look at the stat again. They've made only 33 metres. This is the last tackle and long on Sculthorpe. They didn't want to give him any kicking tonight, and that's the reason why.
Look at the pressure on the kicker again, though. He's only got 10 metres.
And Long is hurt. Long is down injured for Saints.
2v1.
Clutching the knee.
Not serious injury.
Here's Cusack for the Roosters. And the signal's gone out about Long that he won't be able to continue.
Got a man here.
And the referee will hold the play up because Sean Long is right in the thick of this and could be. They would be running all over him.
I hope it's not the knee injury we saw him do and require surgery on at Huddersfield. It's on his cruciate knee ligaments in the past.
Well, he grabbed the knee. Oh, and he's all right. The signal from the physio was he couldn't carry on. Long has other ideas. But bearing in mind that we're at the start of the season, Long might be better served to just give himself a breather and sit this one out. Another penalty.
Well, surely they'll kick to touch and have some fun.
I don't think St Helens would call it fun.
Fitzgibbons has more fun kicking goals, I think. That's the reason why he's decided to do it.
I'm not so sure that Morley hasn't just... Oh, no, there is a hand in there.
Still up there, Dave.
Tried to fool the referee.
He doesn't tell lies, Adrian Morley, eh?
Darren Smith, the man picked out. There is Adrian Morley with a big game. Going to the side. And I think Fitzgibbon is going to have the shot at goal. Well, 30 points to nil.
Likes goal kicking, I think.
Likes goal kicking and just wind the clock even further down. 7 from 7. Wonderful performance from him. That's 8 from 8. Craig Fitzgibbon. And the Roosters ahead, 32 points to nil.
He actually played under David Waite in a grand final just a few years ago at St George.
Well, he might be playing against David Waite at the end of the season, mightn't he?
There's every chance. No other St Helens players looking forward to kicking off here again and doing that hard work in defence.
Sean Long appears to be A-OK, taking the kick-off.
Get him low!
And he will come Payton to run the ball back. Todd Payton, 24 years of age. Hooper and Smith and Stankiewicz were the men leading the charge. This is Cusack.
Well, for somebody who hasn't seen this game and you said, well, it could have been so different, the Roosters could have won, they might think you're talking rubbish at 32 points to nil. But if St Helens had taken those chances, maybe Stewart had been granted a try when he got so close to the line, it definitely would have been a different game.
It would, wouldn't it, Sean McRae? If those chances for Saints had gone in early, we might have been looking at a totally different scoreline right now.
Well, we often talk, Eddie, about a game of inches as rugby league, and that's what we've seen tonight. I think St Helens have had some chance in the first half. They've not had a lot in the second half, I've got to say. They've just been hanging on there. But when you look at this Sydney City Roosters outfit, you talk about offence, defence and kicking game, and they've been almost perfect in all departments. And you've got to give them 9.5 out of 10 for all of those. And I think St Helens would be a fair way down in those 3 departments. And when you look at the scoreboard, that's a certain reflection of what's gone on out there. And St Helens really are just trying. They're trying their hardest, but they just can't seem to get into the game. There's been very little played up in Sydney City's half, and consequently St Helens are the team that's tired, and Sydney City seem pretty relaxed and raring to go, and they just keep moving forward in defence and making their tackles and waiting for the ball to come back to them. And they're just going through the motions now and enjoying the situation.
High kick from Sean Long, and it bounces over the dead ball line. Yeah, I think the video of this Sydney Roosters performance, Phil, will be doing the rounds in Super League this year. It is 32-0. It's the perfect game that the Roosters have played on paper.
I'm quite sure it's perfect. They came up with some mistakes in the first half. Saints almost got some points, but
they have the tenacity to defend those mistakes, though.
Yes, they have. They were resilient near their own line when under pressure.
It's been a good old week for Australia, hasn't it? 9 minutes to go. On halfway, the Roosters. Crocker plays the ball to Finch. Little stab through. Tester for Stewart, did well. Got the ball away to Joint. He finds Gardner. Great defence again. They just swarm around the ball carrier.
Well, they've got more
Look
energy.
at them.
There's more petrol in the tank, isn't there, at the moment, because of the way the game's gone.
They've got the ball back with Finch.
They want a quick spread to the left.
Yes, Saints are caught with numbers out wide. Here's Cusack driving it up the middle.
2. Come on, Jason.
Still want it. Fitzgibbons off Ricketson.
There's Ricketson. There's the short ball to Flannery. It's stuck as well. Quick play the ball. Fitzgibbon again. Here's Ricketson. Good defence from St Helens. Jason Hooper. Hegarty. Back it comes to Minicello. And wide it comes. And that's the substitute, Katic. Last tackle. Minicello waits at dummy half. A dab to the in-goal area. And it came off the boot of Justin Hodges. And Saints will restart with a tap on the 20-metre line.
You can learn a lot about your team, though, at stages like this, when the game's probably over. It's which players are still want to be involved and which ones are still committed.
Hold it, lads.
St Helens just haven't been able to break this line. They haven't been able to get through this defence.
Didn't play at it.
They did, as you say, in the first half. They were inches away, as Sean McRae says. Inches away from registering tries. But look at the way the Roosters just swarm around the man.
To defend like that, you have to be a very fit side, and I'm sure the fitness trainer will be complimented. All the players have done a lot of running to close down, because Saints have offloaded the ball.
3, get out!
Tremendous work rate to get back to the referee and get onside.
They've been training for this for about a month, we understand, down under. This is a chance. This is a chance for Gleeson. Hegarty's after him. He gets the ball offloaded to Long, and Hegarty again. But still the ball is continuing on via Edmondson. Flannery all over the back of Gleeson, just holding him up as well. Penalty.
Get up, kid. No. You'll get back.
Now they can take it. That's another of the new rules. The referee has to control the penalty. There'll be no quick tap penalties this year until the referee makes the mark and takes control of the situation.
The game draws on, you begin to wonder, can St Helens get through this Roosters defence?
Well, the Roosters will be desperate they don't. St Helens will be desperate they do. Sculthorpe on the bounce. Barry Ward! Heels! Oh no, he won't. Wonderful defence again.
Even when they get over the line, they're still preventing from putting it down.
What an effort. You think it was 6-4, the Roosters were clinging on.
Bounce forward.
Well, it's all about pride in your own defence, preventing your opponents from getting over your line at all costs. And that's ingrained into the defensive mind of these Roosters players. Can't turn it on and off when you like.
John, get in now.
It's a lesson, isn't it?
It's an attitude you have.
Exactly, a lesson in attitude that everyone in Super League 8 should be looking at and trying to emulate.
Well, they said defence wins.
Here's Yonkers. Can Saints give their fans something to shout about?
Wait.
Hyam will have a dab himself. Great defence. How many times have I said that tonight? Joint. Back it goes to Long. Here's Sculthorpe. Finch flies out of the line. And he had Ricketson there in support, and also Ned Katic as well. Long. Back on the inside it goes. Edmondson.
Let him up.
Hyam on the last. Here's Long. Stab through. Again mopped up by this Roosters defence.
Minicello on the ball again. Successful coaches say attacking play sells tickets, defence wins games, but it's attitude that wins trophies. And the Roosters have a first-class attitude here tonight. They won't allow St Helens to get over the line, and Minicello's been awesome at fullback.
Fitzgibbon hits the deck on the third tackle. That was Crocker, that was Ricketson. Even the bobbling, bouncing ball, when it reaches the Roosters' hands, it sticks. Flannery plays the ball to Crocker. Crocker up the middle. Oh, and he bounced Hyam off. He's got support, he might not need him. Crocker, great tackle by Hooper. Quick play of the ball though, and Saints in trouble. This is on the last. A drive in by Katic. And that's going to be the turnover, but it looked as though Crocker was on his way to yet another Roosters try.
Well, Hooper's effort in defence shows they're such a proud side at St Helens.
To be one, release.
You talk about that controversial try. The Roosters have been out without Craig Wing for the majority of this match as well.
Come on.
Crocker's done remarkably well filling in there at hook. I mean, he started there, came back on.
3, get off him.
Solid, getting a lot of ground for his team.
Hooper to Chris Joint.
4, get off. Hands down the face.
What an effort in defence this has been. Edmondson received that pass, and as he received it, he also received the flying tackle from Craig Fitzgibbon. Last tackle, along with the kick downfield. That will at least relieve a little bit of the pressure, but Minicello picks it up, and back they come again. Great offload, Hegarty.
Well, it's razzle-dazzle stuff, isn't it now? Great linkage between the winger and fullback.
Get square, buddy.
And here they come once more, and that's Flannery. He's got support. Hooper is after Finch. He can't wrap him up though. Ricketson in support. Here now is Crocker.
2, release. Stand
Finch
square.
waits at dummy half. Ricketson. Still going Ricketson. Into the 20-metre zone. Halfway through this set of 6. Hodges attacking a tired St Helens defence now. Offloads, Ricketson spreads it. Fittler back on the inside. The substitute's in. It's Payton. And Todd Payton wraps it up. Wraps up a great night for the Roosters. A wonderful night for them. A night filled with lessons for the Saints.
Well, there's only so much work you can do in defence, and St Helens have done that and some more. Eventually they had to pay. The offload, great pass there from Luke Ricketson to Fittler. Inside ball to Payton. The big right hand, don't argue, from Tony Payton. Just a great work the ball down. It's been a while since the Roosters try. Probably just capped off for themselves. Very, very professional performance. Sit down, Barry Ward. Try to Todd Payton. Takes his while to put it down.
Does eventually. I thought it was going to be American football style then. Touchdown that never touched down, but it wasn't. And Todd Payton, well, he will remember his debut, won't he? Because he's going home a world champion, and he's just scored what will probably be the last of the Roosters' tries. And Fitzgibbon adds inevitably 2 more points. 9 out of 9 for him. And 38 points to 0. The Roosters over the Saints. And 38-0, I'm reminded, was the scoreline that the Roosters, or Easts as they were known then, won the grand final in 1975 against St George, the other Saints. So history does have a nasty habit of repeating itself. Last 10 seconds of the match. A famous night for the Roosters, and St Helens will have to come up back off the canvas to take on the Bulls next Friday. A comprehensive victory for the Sydney Roosters. Brad Fittler, blood coming down from that cut on the head, but he goes home victorious again. He has tormented the British game for over 10 years. He has been a World Cup winner for his country. He's now a World Club winner for the Sydney Roosters. A great performance, and St Helens will be bitterly disappointed. Ricky Stewart will be so proud.
Yeah, he's bright, creative, well organised. He's got energy and a vision, and allied together, this makes him and his team very, very hard to beat.
He enjoyed it, Brad Fittler, didn't he? Enjoyed every minute of it out there. And the first time in 8 years that St Helens have failed to score in a match. A comprehensive victory for the champions of the NRL. I hope it won't be the thing they talk about, but my mind keeps going back to that controversial try from Todd Byrne. The British fans will be thinking about it. They won't even consider it because they played under those rules for a year or two.
Now he's joined just there on the side. Arthur Beetson with him. There's so much work to recruit the youngsters that the Roosters bring through. It's a tough job now for St Helens to pick themselves back up off the canvas, almost literally here. It's been a great surface to play on, and the Roosters have enjoyed it. But they have to bounce back now. The start of Super League 8.
Well, we have Brad Fittler with us. He is down on the pitch, and he's with Chris Warren. Chris, all yours.
Well, with me, Brad Fittler, of course, captain of the Roosters. I saw that win in the grand final. Of course, we cover the grand final live on Sky Sports through Great Britain. That moment that we saw, you said this was the best, wasn't it, Freddie? When you held that trophy up, how does this feel?
Pretty good. It's not often you get the title of being a world champion, and we talked about that before the game, and we talked about what sort of work we had to do to get there. And you know, I don't think any of the boys, no one's fault was today. We worked that hard. We worked that hard for each other, pushing up with each other. Our defence line was great, and they didn't score a point. And with a side that's got that much talent in it, it's a really good sign of a dedicated team.
Brad, yourself personally, of course, you're retired from representative football for last season. You've won the NRL Grand Final. You've now won this. You've won Kangaroo Test. You've won World Cup, State of Origins. Your own personal silverware now, the World Club Championship.
Yeah, it's awesome. I say there's no one game really stands out. There's like a group of games, and this goes right up with them. And I thought, just the way the boys played, we've been over here for about 8 days or so, and the way they've controlled themselves, a lot of young fellas here, it's just a credit to them, and they've really worked hard, so I think we deserve it.
A very young backline, the likes of Minicello playing out of position at fullback. Of course, you lost Craig Wing in the first half. You didn't have a recognised hooker. A fantastic effort all round, and not a try conceded.
That's right, that's what I was saying. St Helens is such a gifted attacking team. I thought Mick Crocker at hooker did a fantastic job. Even towards the end, was still busting breaks, and I thought our new blokes, Finchy and Todd Payton, Ned Caddick, I think they're the ones. I thought they were outstanding too, and you can see on their faces, you know, they're happy to be part of a good team.
Brad Fittler, well done.
Thanks, Chris.
Well done indeed, Brad Fittler. Well done, the Roosters. They will party for a wee while in Manchester this evening, and the debate and the inquest begins for St Helens, and Sean Long, Tommy Martin beginning that debate. Let us carry it on with Paul Sculthorpe. He's down there with Bill.
Eddie, one of those nights where nothing, it seems, went right for St Helens. Is that your view, Paul?
Yeah, it's you know, it turned out that it's a lesson for us, how to play rugby, and no excuses. The best team won by far.
But your kicking game was probably not at its best. That's been fair?
Yeah, that was a big factor in training. What we practiced all week was how important the kicking game were. And it was one of them nights where it didn't go for us, and it's our own downfall.
One decision that probably turned the game, and that was the knock-on, or was it a knock-on, and they went up the other end and scored. From where you were?
Well, I think it was a blatant knock-on, and I think there's only one man in the stadium who thought it wasn't. Unfortunately, it was the most important man in the stadium.
But this must be hard to take, to be nilled like this.
Well, we didn't deserve to score because we didn't do nothing right, and I thought we defended okay in the first half. We only conceded two tries off kicks. The second half, they just run riot, and we didn't back it up.
Are Bradford going to feel the backlash next Friday then?
Well, let's hope so. All we can do is put things right what went wrong, and we've got the ability to win the big games. We had the ability to win this if we'd have played like we should have done. We trained to a game plan, and which we need to bring out, and we didn't bring it.
Paul, thanks for talking to us.
Well, he's bitterly disappointed, Paul Sculthorpe, isn't he? And no wonder. The size of the defeat, really, 38 points to nil, is a little unfair on St Helens, but by far the best side won on the night. There's, or rather here now, is Craig Fitzgibbon. It hasn't been announced to the crowd, but I can tell you he is the man of the match, and he's talking to Chris.
Well, Craig, it's been quite a year for you, really. Of course, winning the Clive Churchill medal last year, carrying the trophy around with the NRL. Of course, your first green and gold last year as well. How does this compare?
Yeah, it's a pretty good feeling. I I suppose this is a culmination of all your pre-season, and everyone knows how hard they can be. We put in a fair bit of hard work and travelled all the way over here, and if we hadn't won, it would have been pretty disappointing to head home. So we're really happy, and all that hard work, now it's worthwhile.
You finished last season with 9 consecutive wins, including the grand final win, of course, the best defensive record in the competition. Can you believe, this being your first game of the new year, you have not conceded 1 point?
That's probably the most pleasing aspect, I think, coming out of the game. At half-time, I know Ricky was really hard on it, and we worked our butts off to keep it 0 in the first half, and if we come back out and conceded some points, well, it would have been a little bit disappointing, but full credit to St Helens. Yes, they put it on us on the second half, and fortunately for us, our defence stuck solid and we didn't concede a point.
It makes it even more important, that achievement, given the class that you're playing against. They are a very good attacking side, St Helens. A lot of your good men today were in the forwards, the likes of Cusack and a few others.
Yeah, that's right. They always aim up those blokes. They're pretty unheralded heroes, I suppose, for us. And I'll tell you, after a game like that, I can tell you that St Helens team would match it with just about any team in the NRL. That game, the scoreboard probably didn't indicate how hard it was. It was bloody hard out there, and like I said, full credit to St Helens, but also to our blokes. Geez, they aimed up when we needed them, and we got away with the win.
Craig, well played.
Thank you.
Well played indeed. A fantastic 12 months that young man has had. Man of the match, as Chris Warren said, in the grand final. A test jersey, and now this. Absolutely wonderful. And let's take our hats off and salute this team of world champions, the Sydney Roosters. And they're about to make the presentations now. First of all, the man of the match, Craig Fitzgibbon, will receive his trophy from 2 of the legends of the game, and we shall see them in a moment. But Craig Fitzgibbon, a worthy man of the match, and there is Arthur Beetson with on the right hand side, and next to him Kel Coslet of St Helens, 2 legends who both played in the very first World Club Challenge in Sydney between Easts, as the Roosters were then known, and St Helens in 1976, and the Roosters, or Easts, won on that occasion 25 points to 2. Craig Fitzgibbon, rightly adjudged the man of the match. It was his show until Adrian Morley got going. And the referee and the touch judges will now receive their mementos of the evening. And poor old Russell Smith will not be roundly applauded by the St Helens fans inside this ground. But it wasn't him. He handed the decision on to David Campbell, and David Campbell got it absolutely right. They are the new rules, or that is the new rule, and there is nothing that anyone can do about that now. They'll have to live with it, these players, throughout the course of Super League 8. Chris Joint coming up to receive the losers' medals, and losers' medals, not really a phrase that you talk about when the Saints come up and receive silverware. Will the Bradford Bulls feel the full backlash of this in a week's time?
Well, one thing in sport, you have to go through both the pleasure and the pain together. They'll stay united now for the next weeks, and they need to do that, St Helens, because they will bounce back. Make no doubt about that.
They're receiving the commemorative medals from Richard Lewis, Executive Chairman of the Rugby Football the NRL, and it'll be very interesting to hear what Ian Millwood has to say about all this at the end of tonight. And the Roosters now will come up and receive the World Club Challenge Trophy. They then are the Rugby League World Club Champions, and a handsome piece of silver it is as well. Man of the match, Fitzgibbon leading the way. Brad Fittler will receive the trophy last of all. David Gallup shaking hands with every one of them, so too Richard Lewis. Big night for Brett Finch. He's ended up on the winning side. Captain and coach share a smile. I've no doubt they'll be sharing a drink or two before this evening, this Valentine's night, the finishes here in Bolton. It would be unfair and churlish to call it a Valentine's Day massacre, but at 38 points to 0, Phil, that really does tell its own story.
Yeah, I'm sure some of the Saints fans would have rather gone for a romantic meal for two, wouldn't they, than come here and witness what they saw.
Let's have a word from Brad Fittler talking to the crowd. Well, I'm afraid we can't really hear in the echoes what Brad Fittler is saying, but I've no doubt he is accepting victory gracefully, as he always does.
Well, there is some talk that he may come back out of representative retirement. Trent Barrett's injured.
Oh dear.
New South Wales do need a 5/8 or a standoff, so to say.
Will he be back here with the Kangaroos?
Well, his mate's the coach of New South Wales, Phil Gould, so who knows, watch this space.
Well, as I say, he's been a devil as far as Great Britain Rugby League is concerned, but he is one of the finest ambassadors, and he receives now the trophy from David Gallop, and the Sydney Roosters are champions of the world 2003.
With an average age of just over 24, it might be the start of a bit of success. They've waited a while, but winning does become a habit.
Well, St Helens have made the habit their own. This will be a bitter pill for the St Helens club to swallow. Sean McRae has now made his way to the studio. We'll see him shortly, but let's have a word with him. Sean, will the Saints bounce back, do you think, for Bradford next Friday?
Well, certainly bounce back, getting get things right, but they didn't do right tonight. But, you know, listening to Paul Skelthorpe